Number 3. What's the third one?
No one knows.
Nobody knows. Nobody. I love it. Now they're giving up. They're going, listen, I surrender. I surrender, Kevin. I don't know what number 1 was or number 2. Clearly, I don't know what number 3 is. I'm trying. And by the way, everything that you said are good traits that you should employ. There's no question. You should. And some successful people employ them. Others don't. There's a mix match. But there's 3 that everyone does. So thinking big was the first one. Second one was initiative. What's number 3? What's number 3? Now, you were just at Leadership Weekend, Trey, where I went through the 30 leadership energies that people have. And it wasn't in an order of importance. It was just in an order in which we actually clear the counterintentions on those energies using the leadership processes. And people started, like the first one was initiative that we cleared, right? And people are going, oh my God, I went home and I just cleaned up the house and I did this and everything. I feel so good. I'm not even thinking about it anymore. This is unbelievable. It's already working. Anyone that you think would be the third one? Do you have any guesses?
It kind of goes with initiative, but getting rid of procrastination.
Okay, so Trey said that he had a little advantage. He was just at our leadership weekend when we went through these. He said getting rid of procrastination. That's the opposite. That's the counterintention, procrastination. The actual energy that leaders, billionaires, people that make $1 million a year, people that make $500,000 a year, all employ is a philosophy, and it's an automatic. It's something that's in their DNA. It's something they don't even think about, and that is the do it now mentality, which is the exact opposite of putting it off or procrastination. So it's real simple. Do you procrastinate? Do you put things off? And the answer, all of you are going to say, yeah. And I mean, not everything, Kevin, but certainly I do procrastinate. Perfect. I remember Reverend Pat Robinson, who was the founder of Christian Broadcasting Network, and I knew Pat, and I was down there at CBN, and I talked to them, and he built an amazing organization. This was a guy, you want to talk about a success story. For those of you who are Christians, this is an amazing success story. But those of you who are not Christians, it's still an amazing success story. He started with nothing. He went down to Myrtle Beach and Virginia Beach down there, and he built this network, a TV network out of nothing, starting with nothing, Christian Broadcasting Network. And then he ran for president. I mean, it was an amazing story. He was asked in one of the interviews when he was running for president, and he said, what is one of your best traits? And he said, I'm impatient. I have to get everything done right now. And he knew that was one of his best traits. Impatience, which means I need to get it done now. The do it now attitude. Winners are not procrastinators. Winners don't put things off. Billionaires don't put things off. There's a difference between initiative and do it now. Doing it now is if you get an order, if you get a directive, if you're getting a request, do you get it done now? Let's just do it now. If you think of something to do, that's initiative. But if you do it right now, that's a do it now attitude. When you combine both of them, it's like taking 2 chemicals that are very powerful chemicals. But when you mix them together, it explodes. You have awesome power. And you combine that with thinking big. You can see how this is a 1, 2, 3 punch that is unstoppable. It will make you unbeatable. It'll make you unstoppable. You have big dreams, big thoughts. You show massive initiative, and you have a do-it-now attitude with no procrastination. You're completely impatient. You need to get it done now because you take massive and immediate action. Massive and immediate action. Bill Gates said this. He was on the Larry King show. Larry King was on CNN. He used to interview these people live. I knew Larry. When Bill Gates was on, he was the richest man in the world, co-founder of Microsoft. And Larry said, Bill, are there any secrets to success? And Bill Gates said, Yeah, you have to be at the right place at the right time, and you have to see the vision and the potential in things, and you have to think big. He actually said that was number 2. And number 3 says, but the biggest to me, the most important, he says there were a lot of people at the same place I was. A lot of people saw the same potential. They thought as big as I was. The difference, Larry, was I took massive and immediate action. I did it right then and there. He goes, I'm impatient. I have to get things done, and I have to get them done yesterday. Bam. You are seeing and hearing directly from these people who don't even know really, but thinking big, showing initiative, and taking massive and immediate action, having a do-it-now attitude. You are programmed to procrastinate and put things off, because when you put things off, you don't have to confront. That's an energy that is active in most people, and it creates massive fear, and it makes you very uncomfortable to confront things. You can't confront a person. You can't confront the situation. When there's a disaster going on, winners confront. They assess the situation calmly, logically, and they want to know exactly what's going on. What is the situation? And all the little people around, this happened to me a bunch of times. I brought some staff in, and I know there's a problem because nobody wants to look at me in the eye. And everyone's afraid to tell me. They're afraid to confront. So I go, what's the situation? Well, we got a little situation here that, it's really not that big of a deal, Kevin. And that's what they're doing. And I'm going, we have to work on your confront. We're going to have to do some processing on you and clear the stuff out of your field and in your DNA because you don't have the ability to confront. What is the situation? Is there a nuclear bomb in the building? Did our warehouse burn to the ground? Did everybody get shot in like a St. Valentine's Day massacre, like when Al Capone did that to the Moran gang? Are all of our bank accounts frozen? Did we get lawsuits from the federal government? Is the FBI on the way to arrest us all? What's the problem? And they're all looking at me going, Kevin just used the word problem. I go, what's the problem? We can handle anything, even if it were one of those things that I just mentioned. And that released the pressure because clearly the situation was nothing as colossally bad as what I just mentioned. And they said, oh, well, we had, 2 of our salesmen quit and they're starting a competitive company. I go, that's not a problem. Let's celebrate. We should bring them in and have a party. Let's be proud, not sorry, when people leave and go into business of their own. I mean, I'm excited about them. I want them to be successful. Nothing to be sad about. Yeah, but our sales, they're taking a lot of our clients with us. That's okay. Was it our clients or was it their clients? We could argue that. I says, but look, there's plenty of room for everybody to succeed. Let's say, let's celebrate their success. Let's hope they succeed. Let's let them know that we're here to support them. And everybody was just blown away. Those guys succeeded, and we continued to succeed too. Everybody was happy, and we remained good friends, by the way. The point is, that's confront energy. When you can't confront, you always have to put it off mañana. Mañana, tomorrow, tomorrow. Mañana, mañana, tomorrow, tomorrow. Successful people have a do-it-now attitude. Art Williams, who was the owner of A.L. Williams Insurance Company, a multi-level marketing insurance company, which is now called Primerica. Art Williams wrote a book, and it was called Do It Now. And the whole book is about why, scientifically, it is so powerful to get into the habit of do it now. When you think of something, just do it now. Don't put it off. Do it now. Take some action. Ron Ball, who many of you know, good friend of mine, and he's been speaking a lot of gin events. I've known Ron for 25, 30 years. Ron and I did a seminar about 15 years ago, and one of the things that Ron did in that seminar, and he just reiterated it at our family reunion event back in November, is the scientific neuroscience, how the brain reacts when you think of doing something and then take action on it within 24 hours. The brain and how it reacts to that is completely different than if you think about doing something and then put it off for 48 or 72 hours. The chemicals that are released, the neural pathways that are established, the parts of the brain that light up and get activated, the hormones, everything changes. It's like night and day. If you want to be successful, you must get in the do it now mentality. But you have a procrastination mentality, a put it off till tomorrow mentality, I'm afraid to confront it mentality, I'm afraid to get started. You have this inability, you have all these stops in your field. It's in your DNA that comes from your ancestors, and then it's also in your own memory banks. You have a habit of, I'll put it off till tomorrow. You have the procrastination habit, and it's a failure habit. It's similar to Excusitis. In the book, The Magic of Thinking Big, the first chapter is Believe You Can Succeed and You Will. And the second chapter is Cure Yourself of Excusitis, the failure disease. Procrastination is simply making excuses why you can't start today. Successful people are always too busy doing what the other guys are still talking about. Losers, by the way, are always good at one thing: making excuses. Think about it. Excusitis, the failure disease. That means procrastination, putting things off, is the failure disease. If you look at all the billionaires, all the people that are worth $500 million or more, all the people that are worth $100 million or more, all the people that make $1 million or more a year, they all employ these three things. And none of them procrastinate. None of them make excuses. They have a habit of doing it now. Do it now. Do it now.